Okay, let's get this nice and sloppy out of the way. This fucking Ant-Man. Ant-Man. The film. Okay, so the dude, he's like a villain, but like not evil. He's just a criminal. He's a burglar. He doesn't hurt people. He doesn't like fighting. He doesn't like violence. Um, he's like the Robin Hood, basically. Like, all these people, fucking, this company stole millions of dollars from all these people, so he hacked their accounts to fucking give the millions back, or some shit. Whatever. They justify his criminal activity, which, let's be real here for a second. You're like, you fucking rag on Hillary for being a goddamn criminal, and she's a cunt, and a fucking horrible person, and should just be burned alive. Just strapped down to a fucking table and stabbed with fucking needles in their entire body all around, just unending fucking horrible pain until she's screaming for it to end, just begging for the sweet release of death, and you set her on fire. But then you turn around and you're like, man, this fucking superhero who stole shit was pretty cool. So here's a huge difference. Her crimes got a bunch of innocent people who were just doing their jobs killed. And his crimes, what's the word I'm looking for? It's fucking fictional. It doesn't exist. It's not real. Okay? So, please permit me, I actually don't, I don't fucking care, some freedoms to say, hey, this criminal's kind of cool, because he was doing more or less the right thing. Also, because it's not fucking real. So, let's get that out of the way now. Ant-Man, that's pretty cool. The dude's like in a suit. The suit gives him the ability. They describe, and I quote, the ability. I don't quote me. I've been drinking again. And I quote, the ability for the empty space between his atoms and his molecules. It just goes away. So, the molecules and the atoms they shrink because the empty space is removed. So he shrinks, but because his muscles have a higher density and such, they have more force and power behind them. So he's really small, but he's really strong. So he's like that tall, but you can knock your shit out, you know. So, and they did some really clever shit where they were like, he's big, and then like he's running, and he shrinks down, and goes through a keyhole in a door, and then back up. So he's like, whoop, wah. It's really cool. It's clever. It's got really good use of his superpowers. The movie has phenomenal writing. The supporting characters are mostly okay. Like, there's some instances there was like one joke. There was one joke. It was near the end of the movie, and the backup guys were like, yo, we gotta go help Scott. Hurry up, we gotta go help him. He's our man. Nothing's gonna stop us from helping him. And they get to the scene to where they would need to be to help him, and there's like police everywhere, and they're like, back it up. Yep, back it up. Yep, back it up. No, yeah, just back it up. Yeah, nothing, just back it. It's like, okay. You're like 3 times maybe, you're like, yeah, we gotta help him, but back it up. Okay. You know, but then they're like 10 fucking times, just back it up. Back it up. Yeah, we're just gonna, yeah, okay, come on, we get it. And that's like the one joke. And, you know, the obvious exposition they gotta spill out, where it's just like, oh, really? Your mom died? Or maybe she didn't, and you don't really know, so we'll know the fucking truth later? Okay, cool. Forced expositions, the exposition they gotta get out, where, you know, they gotta say it. They gotta talk about it. They gotta mention, they gotta throw it out to the audience. They can't just be like, I'm a fucking scientist, this is my daughter, her mom's dead, fucking we're doing powers. They gotta be like, here's some sustenance. So you can feel connected to the characters. I don't fucking know. They got to. It's the necessary exposition. So there's that. Some of the writing. What were some of my favorite lines? I didn't catalog it like I should have. So let's go here to my fucking. Let's go here to my profile. Because I didn't actually. Did tweet sent? What tweet sent? Oh shit. Alright, I'll fix that in a minute. I don't want my notifications. I want to go home Alright, well, hang on. Okay, so... It wasn't like Deadpool where I was like, a tweet about the movie, and then a reply to that tweet, and then a reply to that one. It wasn't like a clean thread, so I didn't do that. I did mark some of my best lines. Here we go. Because it was really clever writing. Well, see, here's the thing. Because writing for a film is like writing for a joke or a stand-up routine. You can write the funniest shit in the world that is stupid as fuck and makes no sense. But if you give it a proper build-up so that it does make sense and it makes it more funny, or it makes it funny in general. See, here's some of my lines. I'm done breaking into places and stealing shit. What do you need me to do? I need you to break into places and steal some shit. Like, okay. The way they deliver... Obviously, the film delivers it way better than I do. Or when he's still in some disbelief and he's like, I think what we need to do is call the Avengers. Oh no. Oh yeah, well, because I was like, oh yeah, that's right. This is the same universe. Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk all still exist. And they're totally real to them. Let's see, what was the other line? Oh yeah, when he was explaining what the suit did, because he was like, oh, it's got a regulator. I'll get to that in a minute. He's like, oh, it's got a regulator. He's like, well, you know, I was thinking about it. If you fix this, don't mess with the regulator. Why? Because if you did that, you know, this scientific shit would happen. Well, what does that mean? Well, if that means this, what does that mean? It means blah, 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 you'll fucking die. Oh, cool. You know what? We don't need to fix the regulator. It was the shit like that. The tongue-in-cheek kind of back and forth response or whatever. There was one line I didn't get where he like takes on Falcon and he's like, I was almost gonna call him Captain Falcon. He takes on Falcon and Falcon like gets his ass kicked to him because he gets his ass fucking so torn up, and he's like, you know, I'd really appreciate if Captain didn't know about this or whatever. And I was like, what? I mean, there's got to be something I'm missing, but yeah, I'm not the biggest on these movies. What was the other one? Oh, this is probably my favorite line from the entire film. So the fucking villain breaks into the AntMan guy's daughter's... AntMan's divorced. His wife married another dude, and the dude is looking after his daughter. So the fucking villain goes into the dude's house. He's got the daughter cornered. It was kind of funny at first because she was like, are you a bad guy? Or no, are you a monster? He's like, do I look like a monster? It's like, I mean, yeah, you fucking gotta do it. She's like, I want my daddy. He's like, I want your daddy too. I'm like, oh shit. The most fucking weirdest, funniest, stupidest shit. But because they give it the proper setup and the delivery they do, it just works. Oh, fun fact. The climactic battle took part on a fucking Thomas the Tank Engine set. Like, you're like, oh, fucking Thomas the Tank Engine toy set. Choo choo, whatever. Your kid's happy. Oh, fucking go play. But it's like, no. This dude is like going to blows, doing some tactical shit, getting his ass kicked, kicking some ass. He could possibly die, leaving his daughter fatherless in this most climactic hero battles ever on a toy train set. So cool. What else we got? Oh, the scientific part. Last line, not my favorite line of the movie. Like I said, the other one was, but he was like kissing his daughter, and like the dude opens the window. Dude opens the door and he sees them kissing, and he's like, he's like, oh shit, because they saw him kissing. He's like, oh, you know, I gotta go. Man, I can't believe you kissed me like that. I gotta go, really. Walks off. He's like, Scott, yeah? You're full of shit. And he goes, oh yeah. I love it. The writing, the setup, and the delivery. It's all here. I love it. It's so good. Dude's friends with the cops. Okay. And the support characters are cool. So, the part I don't like. It's very small. No pun intended. So they describe the suit working in a sense that the particles, the space between them, is essentially removed, or that it's diminished. Basically, here's a molecule, here's another molecule. The space between them represents empty space, and then when the suit activates, it removes that empty space, bringing the particles closer together. so thus causing him to shrink. But it doesn't shrink the molecules. So there would theoretically be a minimum, because he's getting smaller. There would be a limit when he can't possibly shrink anymore, because the molecules, again, they're not being shrunk. It's the space between them being removed or closing in distance. They get closer. There's going to be a certain point where they can't possibly get closer. However, he reactivates the regulator or whatever, and he gets so small that he basically goes into string theory. He passes molecules, he passes atoms, he passes quarks and muons and fucking whatever. He just goes into nothingness. He goes into a fucking kaleidoscope. And then magically, because his fucking suit still has those 6 saw blades that one shrinks, one expands stuff, whatever it hits, he fucking puts the expanding one into his belt, punches his thing, and then magically fucking clever writing saves the day, and there you go. Now he's fucking big again. Whatever, there you go. That's the one thing that going into the movie I already knew. Thank you, film theory. That I was like, this is gonna fucking bother me the whole time, because I know, not only do I know he's gonna use this method, and you know they mentioned like 2 or 3 times leading up to it, because you know that's good writing. It's like, oh yeah, this fucking thing could happen, but whatever. Oh, his wife, her mother did this thing, and this thing happened, and it's why she's not here anymore. And he's like, no, you can't do that thing, because if you do, this thing will happen. And then they get to that point in the movie where he's like, I have no choice. I have to do this thing so I can accomplish this thing. You know, I can't do this thing unless I make the thing happen. Whatever. So it's like, you know they're going to do it. They do it. And you're like, nah, he's going to fucking get out of it. But even then, the whole point going into it, to get to the thing, you're like, nah, that can't fucking happen. The way the suit works, the way they already explained it to work, it can't happen. But whatever. I'm already 12 minutes into a movie no one really cares about anymore. I liked it. This is honestly one of my favorite new movies. This is like right up there with Green Lantern and Deadpool, and people are going to hate me already, cause if they didn't already, for the fact that they think I hate women. Fucking Green Lantern no one really liked from what I hear, but I thought it was pretty cool. But, that being said, if I had to give this film a rating, and you'd be like, oh, you're being awfully generous with your fucking rating movies. However, I'm only talking about movies that when I pick up the camera, or when I finish watching the movie, it makes me want to pick up a camera and talk about it. And I'm not going to be like, that movie is fucking shit. Oh, god damn. I'm going to go watch something good so I can get out of my memory. And I don't want to talk about it. But I'm not just being generous here. I'm being pretty practical, I think. In terms of overall things, the supporting characters, the effects, the science behind the suit, the powers, the story, the lines, dialogue, actors, acting, delivery, etc. Everything, all things considered, I'd still have to give this a 9 out of 10. God damn, it's a good movie. And there you go. Go fucking watch Ant-Man. Go do it now. It's good shit. Ant-Man on DVD. Go buy it on Blu-ray. Digital DVD. iTunes. Google Play. Go buy it. It's a good movie. I know. I want your daddy too.